Gonzalez of Heartwood Financial Services. Welcome to another edition of our Financial Wisdom videos. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. Today the topic is how can we help the people in Ukraine? I'm sure I'm not the only one that's been watching the news and seeing how horrible things have been for the people, especially of Ukraine, and you're wondering, well, should I help or how can I help? So I wanted to talk about that today, like what is my thought process behind helping, and what are some good things that we could do to make sure that if we do help, that we're given to causes that are actually going to be helping the people in Ukraine and not going towards executive salaries of 501c charities. So I hope you guys enjoy this, and thanks for tuning in. So as we get kick-started into this conversation, first of all, I'd like to start by saying that my philosophy when it comes to investing is I want to help you as my client make as much money as possible, of course, legally, and do it in a way that you feel comfortable as far as your risk tolerance. But then on the flip side, I also want to encourage you to be as generous as you possibly can be. And this kind of belief stems from a lot of my faith, and I like to use the Bible as helping me in setting up these principles in my life that have guided me, I think, pretty well at this point. And in the New Testament, there's 2 Corinthians 9:11. It's a great verse that talks about this. It talks about how you will be enriched in every way so that you can be generous on every occasion. And through us, your generosity will result in thanksgiving to God. And so I believe that God has blessed us, especially here in the United States, just so much. He's been so generous to us. Most of the clients that I'm talking to, they've done very well for themselves. And a lot of that has been just blessings that come from God. So I would say that it's kind of our responsibility to also give some back, especially to people in need. And today there are lots of needs. And of course, the real big obvious one is to those people out in Ukraine. And so that's kind of where my thought process is. And so with the next slide, I'd like to talk about, just some responsible ways for us to give. Because, there's some charities that, look at them, some of them are a little bit more bloated with administrative costs and things than others. So I wanted to give you some tips on how to do some research there. All right, before we get started on this, I do want to give a quick disclaimer that I am not specifically saying that you should give to these charities. These are just examples. Mostly what I wanted to highlight was this website called Charity Navigator. You can see the website address down here, charitynavigator.org. Check it out. What they do is they consolidate all this information on different charities. They do an analysis. They give you a ranking based on a star network. You can see, 1 through 4. And they show you kind of how they spend their money, how much goes towards program costs versus administrative costs and fundraising and all this kind of stuff. So it's very interesting to see. And they give you a highlight of what the charities do exactly. And here's an example of 4 different charities that were being highlighted at the moment as organizations that are working directly and helping the people in Ukraine. Some of these you might find familiar. I was familiar with a couple of these I didn't know. So it's interesting. You may want to give to one or a few. You might even have some religious organizations, maybe through your church or something, that's doing something, and that's fine too. I'm not discouraging you from doing any of that. But what I'm trying to do is just give you a resource that you could use to do a little homework, so you can make sure that every hard-earned dollar that you would like to potentially give goes to a charity that is also working very hard to help those people that you're trying to give your money to. All right, one more quick note that I would like to add. Oftentimes when we think of giving to a charity, we think of just writing a check. And that actually might be a very good way to do it. But oftentimes there's other strategies that could benefit you a little bit more tax-wise. So definitely reach out to me. There's a couple ideas such as a qualified charitable distribution out of your IRA or maybe using a donor advised fund. So reach out to me. I'd be happy to discuss some of those strategies with you. And of course, we would always want to involve your accountant or CPA in those discussions as well as they involve different tax consequences. So hope this helps. I hope this encourages you, that, you can give. It's not going to just get flushed down the toilet. You can see exactly how these monies are being used, and that might encourage you to be a little bit more generous. So thanks a lot, and we'll see you soon.